Hi, I'm Alyssa Stansfield, and this is my final project for data visualization called Exploring Trends in North Atlantic Hurricanes and Their Economic Costs. So first, I'll just quickly show my infographic. This I've called Hurricanes Debunked because I try to explain common myths about hurricanes and why they're false. I started off with some hurricane symbols and a black and white satellite picture at the top to kind of grab people's attention, and so they know what the infographic is um, right away. So I started off with the most important myth at the top in this yellow panel. Um, I used a scatter plot to show that not like hurricanes don't have to be really strong at landfall in order to cause a lot of damage. Um, the second one, I just used like a simple statistic, kept it simple, used some water icons to convey the message. And then this last one, I used a pie chart as well as text with the most important statistic in a different color and like larger to highlight it, as well as some icons. So overall, I tried to really keep the text at a minimum, so people, wouldn't get tired of reading it. Tried to keep the color scheme consistent throughout, and yeah, tried to keep things generally simple, but also convey important messages to try to keep people informed about hurricane landfalls. So next, I'm just going to show my dashboard. So this is a similar idea. So I, took information about hurricanes and their costs. And so here we see what this bar chart shows the number of Atlantic hurricanes per year. So when I hover over a certain year, let's say 2012, there were 19 hurricanes that year. And in the scatter plot on the top right, all of the hurricanes that happened that year are highlighted, as well as any that happened in 2012 in the scatter plot in the bottom left. So we see here also when I hover over a point in the scatter plot, um, the the year that it happened highlights in the bar chart. If it appears on the economic cost scatter plot in the bottom left, it also lights up, and also the hurricane name. And if or not it made landfall appears in the middle of the graph, this dashboard, and also its landfall location, if appropriate, and formation location appear on the map in those two different colored dots. So this dashboard can be used to explore a lot of things. Are hurricanes in the North Atlantic, are there more over time? It appears to be maybe a slight upward trend over time since 1980, but it's a little hard to tell. Are hurricanes more intense over time? So are these more intense hurricanes, have more of them happened in like the second half of this period? Which generally I would say is true. Like more of the intense hurricanes happen since like maybe 2000, but it's not always true. Here's one from 1998. Um, and generally hurricanes still in this top decade, still weaker hurricanes occur. So it's not, necessarily true, but most of the most intense hurricanes, yes, have occurred in the past 2 decades or so. And also definitely the economic cost of hurricane landfalls, even when adjusted for inflation. So this cost is adjusted for inflation. Most of the most expensive hurricane landfalls have occurred in the past 2 decades. So here's the most expensive: Hurricane Katrina, which made landfall in New Orleans in 2005. So we see how pretty much all of these graphics and everything, when you hover over a certain hurricane, it gives you a lot of information about that storm, which is cool. Um, and then lastly, so like why has the cost of hurricane landfalls gone up? It's most likely mostly related to the coastal population. So this is the coastal population in millions of people for the whole East Coast. You see it's increased from about 63 million to 94 million in 2010, and this has probably continued to go up. I also made it so you can look at individual states' population, which is cool. So in pretty much all of these states, the coastal population has consistently increased since 1970, putting more people and also more property at risk for hurricane landfalls. Um, Yeah, so overall, I think this dashboard can be used to answer a lot of questions, and it's just very interesting information. Thank you for listening.